This is Daily Ranch. We're back out here. This is the back side, so it looks kind of funky. It's backwards, and somebody left some bananas. Trail magic, yay! We're just gonna do a short hike. I have not been out here in what, about 2 years, Olive? It's olive oil. And me, I just about fell down, me. 10 down. So I've done several, a couple of different hikes here. One of them was training for the Pacific Crest Trail hike. There was, I think, the very first episode of a series of daily ranches to show the people that are around here, because a lot of people actually get, I wouldn't say lost to survival, but they do get lost to a point where they can't find a way back, and it just takes them that much longer. I don't think it's anything dangerous, but if it's a hot day and you're running out of water, no bueno. Oh yeah, I gotta put my, let me set my same watch I use on the Pacific Crest Trail. Here I am. So as we're doing this, first of all, this is probably about, do you think it's been 2 years since we've done this hike?
No, like a year.
Maybe a year since I've done this hike. No, I got off the Pacific Crest Trail last year, 2021. June 29th. Over at Trail Pass, Sierra Nevada, mile 745. And I made a video about the reasons why I got off, and there was actually probably more reasons, or other reasons, but I really don't want to get into that this time. Gathering some of my thoughts from that hike, the Pacific Crest Trail. And you know, there are people out there that say, oh, you can't say you hiked the Pacific Crest Trail because you didn't finish it. Well, I hiked a part of the Pacific Crest Trail, which we call a lash. So for you guys who don't know, there's a section hike, which is like, for example, section A of the Pacific Crest Trail, which is 109.5 miles. That goes from the border of Mexico to Warner Springs. That's one section. So you do that, you've done a section. Now, if you do multiple sections, like section A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, you know, which I did, way out to the Sierra Nevada, from Mexico, and it's called a lash. And lash stands for, you know, L-A-S-H. It stands for long ass section hike. That's what it stands for. So it's the lash of the PCT. And to give credit to those individuals that did the full through hike, you know, you say you did a lash. You don't say you did the Pacific Crest Trail, in respect to those individuals that did the whole thing. Not that it really matters. Now, do I consider myself a through hiker? Yeah, I do. Would you please leave that alone? Don't spread it out any more than it already is. That's what she was doing. Some people over there put toilet paper. And I did see that on the through hike as well, which is not good. But anyway, do I consider myself a through hiker? Yes, I do. Why? Because I did everything that a through hiker does. And you don't really do that in a section. You can't. I mean, you got to go put the miles in, over 700 miles. And, or even if it would have been 600 miles, whatever. 400 miles even. And the reason why I say that is because anybody that does, say for example, the Wonderland Trail or the Timberland Trail being around Mount Hood and the Wonderland being around Mount Rainier. Those are very short comparing to the last, you know, comparing to 700 miles. Those are very short, but nonetheless, you through hiked the Wonderland Trail, so now you can say you're a through hiker. Although I would consider that more of a section hike, but it is a through hike though. And let's keep it real. And you know, the hike that I did was longer than the Colorado Trail, which is a very popular trail, or the Pinhoti Trail, which is a very popular trail. I think it's even longer than the Long Trail, which is the original, the oldest trail in the United States. It's over in the East Coast, like Vermont, in that area. So yeah, I mean, when you do the miles, you got to resupply time and time again. You got to go out in the wilderness. That's a nice looking little doggy. And you got to, you know, you eat the stuff. You get the hiker hunger after hundreds of miles. You get that, learn to just be part of the wild. You don't do that on a section hike. But in a long ass section hike you do, or in a through hike you do. A long through hike, not a 40-mile hike. Okay, so what did I learn? Now that I picked up, there are some things. First of all, after having finished that for over like a year and a half, almost a year and a few months, one of the things that I learned is I have a lot more confidence in being able to be out in society, and if something really bad happens, I can live, I can survive. Another thing that I've learned, that the Pacific Crest Trail, or along, I'm going to say the Pacific Crest Trail because that's the one that I was on. Another thing that I learned is that, for the most part, I can be self-sufficient. But I still need society, or things like I need to stop at stores, resupply, buy things in the food. I'm not a survivalist, as in, go out there and find berries and this and that. You're not going to survive on berries, okay? You're not going to. You can watch all the shows you want. If you think that you're going to get enough calories, enough macronutrients, which is the fat, carbs, and protein, or the micronutrients, which are the electrolytes and vitamins, minerals, you think you're going to get that in berries and the calories it takes, you're completely, it's just not going to happen. So I'm not a survivalist, but I can live out in the wilderness for the rest of my life if I had to, and just resupply here and there. But I have no intentions of doing that. Zombie Holocaust, or however they call it, not Holocaust, excuse me, the zombie apocalypse, I think they call it. Not gonna happen. But if I had to, I would, and soak it all away. The other thing, and what I mean by that, how that comes into reality, is that on a daily basis, I'm glad that I have the comfort of home, a shelter, bed, a job, grocery stores to go eat. Not a problem. People that worry about items in life, they get all anxious and anxiety because of this lack of comfort, or the cable went out or something, and they get all freaked out. None of those things freak me out anymore. Yeah, if I were to be watching a football game and all of a sudden the cable went out, yeah, I'd be upset, but it's not going to be the end of the world. I can go for a hike or whatever, Another thing that I learned is take care of your body. Take care of your body. And I got to tell you that I have found that it's easier said than done. Okay, when I was climbing up in the Sierra already, and I was going from around 9,000 feet up to around the 11,000 feet mark, so right around there. I've always been a slow hiker, and by, that's what I choose to do. And everybody has their own style according to their physical abilities or desires. But I was hiking pretty slow. And I was hiking up, and I didn't know how strong I was. I didn't know that my legs were super strong. I didn't know that I could carry 32 pounds on my back like if it was nothing. The hardest part about carrying a 30-pound pack is not carrying it on your back. The hardest part is when you put it on you, when you're lifting it from the ground up to your back and putting it together. And then it took me about a half mile or so to finish the adjustments. So it felt just right. But nonetheless, we just passed a creek crossing there, and we're on Creek Crossing Trail. But the hardest part about carrying a backpack, once you have the strength, is putting it on. Once you're hiking, once you got the strength, it feels like if you have just a small pack on your back, that's about how it feels. It doesn't really feel that heavy. Now, at the beginning it does, but I didn't realize how strong it was. Now, one of the things that I did, and one of the reasons why I got off is because that's what people say, that a big part of the Pacific Crest Trail is the mental aspect. It can be more difficult than the physical aspect. In other words, I started feeling a little selfish. I started feeling like, here I am enjoying this hike, and although I know that Olive enjoyed seeing my YouTube videos, and she was looking forward to seeing more, I still felt kind of selfish, like I'm doing this for myself and not together. And that's one of the mental type of things that make it difficult. And there are others. I was a solo hiker, and I love solo hiking. And I'll get to one of the things I learned there too. So what did I learn? As far as that, what should I say? I went off, continuing with the taking care of your body, okay? I went off trail, got home, and remembering that when you're hiking, doing a long section hike, or should I say, let's just call it a long backpacking hike. What I mean by that is hundreds of miles. When you're going to do that, hi. When you're going to do a long section hike, or a long part of a through hike, running out of breath here. You're going to, we just finished climbing quite a bit. When you're going to do that, when I did that, when I finished, I told Olive, you know what? I still have time off work, and we still have budget. Why don't we go on a road trip? Okay. Now, a hike, I was getting the point I was making a little while ago, is that when you're doing a long hike, you are going to be always partially dehydrated. Now, I don't feel like using the word dehydrated, because if you're truly dehydrated, you're in heap of trouble. You never let yourself get completely dehydrated. It's part of taking care of your body. You never ever push to a further distance, never, than what you have: water for hydration, shelter keeps you from the sun. Do not, I mean, I'm a gear junkie, but do not think that those little sun umbrellas are going to help you. They're not. They'll help you maybe from getting a sunburn, which can be pretty bad. But they're not going to stop you from getting a heat stroke. Not going to happen. In some cases, they'll make it even worse because the heat radiates through that plastic or whatever the material is, and you can feel it hotter than if you just had it open to air. Okay? You guys go out there and experiment with your sun umbrellas in the extreme heat. And I'm talking, I got off at mile 618 over by Kelso Road. Actually turned back from mile 622 Kelso Road because it was going to be a while before I got to water. So don't ever push yourself beyond that. Know when to say go back. A couple of days after I got off, there was a hiker, may she rest in peace, died at about mile 144, about a mile prior to getting to Mary's place. Her fellow hiker helped her under a bush, went over to Mary's place, got some water, get back. And by that time, her hiking buddy was dead. Take care of your body, not just on a hike, but in regular life. Now, when we were on a road trip, we started off on the road trip. Well, guess what happens on a road trip? You don't have your own kitchen to cook. Hello. You don't have your own kitchen to cook. You don't have the grocery stores to make your own food, so you're gonna eat junk food, and you're gonna eat at restaurants. If you're a diabetic like me, my A1C, I don't remember if it was 9 or if it was 13 when I got back from the road trip. Will I ever do a road trip like that again? If I do, I have to pre-plan the food, because I'm not gonna do it by stopping at restaurants like that. So you got to take care of your nutrition. On the Pacific Crest Trail, I was in better shape, even though the food wasn't dehydrated. A lot of it was dehydrated, but it was food that I chose to eat. So take care of your body, nutrition, hydration. So I learned that I can handle a lot by being out in the woods by myself and walking. What is it? The marathon? It's called a marathon because somebody in Greece ran 26 miles to tell some people that somebody was coming, kind of like Paul Revere. But he was on a horse. The other guy was on a... Well, I pretty much hiked a marathon at any given time. At one time, should I say. Another thing that I learned on the Pacific Crest Trail is, you know, when I was a solo hiker means that you're hiking by yourself. I did enjoy camping out, setting up tents close to other people. But you know what? Everybody says that all hiker trash respect each other and they're all good. No. Not everybody out there is really nice. Although most people truly are the nicest people I've ever met. But there are some that are not so. And as I was hiking, I like to hike by myself. Now here's one thing that I learned about solo hiking. Cannot be done if you're hiking with somebody else. It cannot. If I'm hiking, let's say 20 miles by myself, and there was times that, you know, because I'm a relatively slow hiker, people were coming up behind me and I could hear the chatterbox going, and I didn't like it. And I would step to one side, take a little break, drink some water, and let them go by until I didn't hear them anymore. And you know, of course I was polite and everything. And but one of the things that happens when you're out there by yourself, let's say you're doing 20 miles and you're doing a half mile in an hour. I mean an hour and a half. A mile and a half hour. There you go. That's going to be 10 hours of being by yourself in the woods. No traffic. Nothing to distract you. And me, I got into prayer. Everybody has their own way of dealing with things, but I was thinking, you know, I was in prayer. I was talking to God. I would speak to God. I would do something like the 23rd Psalm and really focus on what it says. But the part of when David says, you know, my head will, my cup runs over. You know, I'm not going to get into the theology behind that, but you really are able to live it when you're out there. You're able to live that feeling. A lot of people call it just spirituality because they believe in just the woods, the wilderness, the universe, whatever. Me focusing on Christianity, I had the strongest connection I've ever had with God was on the Pacific Crest Trail. And I mean, I even one time, there was a few times that I broke down crying. And one time, a couple of times, I called the pastor, just talk to him and say, hey, did you know this? Did you know that? And he goes, yes, I knew that. I'm going like, I knew about it and I read about it. I said, but I never experienced it. Never. And when I was out there, I experienced life to its fullest that I have ever experienced, ever in my life. And how do you take that away? How do you take that with you, should I say, when you're in society? Well, one thing you remember. I remember every day, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about me on the Pacific Crest Trail, even though it's been about a year and a half, or less, a little bit less than that since I've been off. And I can actually sit down in meditation and prayer and have a deeper sense of what I'm praying about and why I'm praying. Some people took that as meditation. Some people look at it in their own personal way. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do or what you think or not think. And that leads into something else. When I was out there, there were people that were of different races, different nationalities, different genders, and there were some that were gay. I remember there's one couple in particular. And one thing that you learn out there, I was never judgmental about people like that because, you know, it's not to judge anybody. I'll judge tomatoes and oranges, or if I can make that red light from the yellow light. But I'm not going to judge anybody because I'm not supposed to. But one of the things that I found out there, if you're out there and there's two people, let's say they're gay, let's just say, and please excuse me for all those that are gay. I'm not doing this to point you out or whatever, but this is one of the things. If I was out there and there are two people and they happen to be gay, and I'm saying this because it was a real situation. You know, they're sitting down, they're, you know, laying in the sleep bags right next to each other. Sometimes they were kissing, which I kind of frown on that, on anybody, not regardless of your sexual orientation. I kind of frown on that, just to keep that private. That's the way I feel, but, you know, everybody to each his own, and I respect that. But one of the things that you realize, you know, you're 10 miles one way for being to water or food, and you're another 10 miles the other way. So basically, you're shit out of luck. Okay, if you run out. Now, supposing there's a couple of people that just happen to be something that you are not, are you gonna turn down helping them? Heck no, they're fellow human beings and they're fellow hikers. And even though people look at the PCT, when they look at videos, they say, this is a really cool video. Well, yeah, it is a really cool trail and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it is, but you know what? It's painful. You can get lost. People die on it every year. It's very hard. You can get dehydrated. You can die from dehydration, from heat stroke. You can, or from other things. And I am not gonna withhold any assistance to anybody, regardless of their orientation or nationality or race or gender or anything like that. And when I came back to society, there's times when, yeah, like I said a little earlier, I don't like people over, you know, going over the top of what they are. I don't like it with anybody. You know, everybody has pride in who they are, yeah. But, you know, you got respect for everybody. So I've learned to respect everybody more so than I did before. I learned that there are some people out there that might treat you wrong because maybe the way you look or something. But don't judge them because obviously they have not been on trail. They have not needed somebody's help or been in a situation where they need to offer help to somebody. So now they're treating you bad. So, you know, I feel sorry for those people more than anything else. So I learned, I learned more truly having respect for this human culture, the human culture, not just the culture of one small area or whatever. Anyway, I'm keeping it real. Okay, so I've learned that, and it really does reflect on what I do for a living as a nurse. I don't care. I don't care if somebody comes in and they're this or that. My job is to help them, to be empathetic to them, and to help them heal or be comforted. Or when I was a hospice nurse, to help them die without pain and giving them love. A lot of people frown on love. You know, I was being criticized not too long ago. Somebody felt very secure with me. You know, and Mother Teresa said, in this life we cannot do great things, only small things with great love. No, in this life we cannot do great things, only small things with great love. So don't take the love equation out of your life. It's my something that I also learned, but you do so in its proper form, in its proper way. In other words, if you were to go look at the ancient Greece, you look at the eros, which is not supposed to be done except for anybody but your wife, your husband. It was very frowned upon by the ancient Greeks, because it made people go crazy. You know, you may expect, you take my breath away, I can't live without you, I'm gonna die, whatever. When a man loves a woman, you know, that's another thing. That's eros. Philia, like Philadelphia, brotherly love. Pragma, being pragmatic. In other words, you're gonna love somebody by showing action. In other words, giving them water, giving them food. That's a form of love. I think it's called philatia. That's self-love. No, not narcissism. Just, you know, loving who you are. Forgiving yourself for not buying fuel at Big Bear and ended up in mile 277 without any fuel. Okay. What's another thing? Simple. Here's a simple thing that I learned. When I was in the Sierra, by that time I had realized that I didn't need a stove. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna dump this. I had the Soda Wind Master or something like that. Pocket Rocket 1, Pocket Rocket 2, had all three of them. I took the Pocket Rocket 2 with me. I left it home. I said, I don't need this. I got so used to getting a jar, plastic jar. And this, my kids was still in the jar, was very popular. But it could be anything. Oh, you're gonna leave me behind, really? Yeah. There goes on. I'm running out of breath, and here she goes. Remember me, I'm the post-heart attack, status post-heart attack, okay? And where was I? Oh yeah, I learned, get one of those little, like Vias, Starbucks, or Bolento or something like that. It's called anything. Put a little instant coffee in a cup. Put some protein powder. Get some instant oatmeal. Put it in there. Get some cocoa powder. Put it in there. I used to put some other stuff in there. Remember, put some water, shake it up for a little bit, drink it. There's breakfast. Well, guess what? I'm a nurse. I work in a rehabilitation hospital. Physical rehabilitation. And but even when I was in a nursing home, there's times that you're running around everywhere, so far behind you don't have time to eat. I could get that, put it in a jar, shake it up, put it in my backpack that I take to work, run over, shake it up, grab it, drink it. It takes me a whole 30 seconds, and I'm done with lunch. Keep working, just like keep hiking. Okay. I learned some things that you can take with you in real life that you couldn't, that I didn't know about before. I had done cold soaking prior to the PCT, but I never relied on it. It was always on day hikes, you know, and this is cold soaking, breakfast, lunch, dinner, day after day after day after day. Actually, I started cold soaking before I got to the Sierra, but by choice, not because I had to, because I still have my stove with me. Anyway, cold soaking. Do more of it. Not a bad thing. Like right now on this 3-mile hike, if I wanted to, if I had some cold soaking stuff, I would do it. Okay. Another thing I learned. I already talked about how your health is going to be on trail with dehydrated food, snacks, and how my health became. It took me a little over a month on this road trip, 18 states that we went on, and my health was nothing close to what I was when I got on trail, or when I got off trail, should I say. So, and I have let my health go, not as good as I should. So when you're on trail, it's really interesting because a lot of people say, got some water. Let me put you guys on hold for a second. Okay. Here, olive oil. Say hi, olive oil.
Hi.
That's my darling olive oil. One of the things that happens on the long trail is that you're kind of forced to stay in good health. Now, why do I say that? Because when I was on a road trip, which is just the opposite of being on a long trail, when you're on a road trip, you're sitting down for hours and hours and hours. You're not being very mobile. You're eating junk food the majority of the time. And you're not getting any exercise. On the Pacific Crest Trail, you're getting a lot of exercise. A lot. On a daily basis. I lost 22 pounds, most of it water, in the first 77.3 miles. I weighed myself. I lost 22 pounds in that short time. Now people say, well, that was only mainly water. Well, yeah, it was mainly water, but did you think I got my energy from water? No. And I didn't eat enough to do all those miles. So, you know, you're forced to take care of yourself. The only thing that you have to adjust is the quality of calories. In other words, if I'm going to go on honey buns all day long, that's not a good quality. That's not a good quality. It might be good to have one here or there if you're not a diabetic. Even if you are, people say, well, if you are, you're going to burn anyway. Yeah, but it's not good for a diabetic. Although you do need a good balance. But if you were to, instead of having that, have some dehydrated, you know, if you learn how to dehydrate your own food, make some meals that are good, that you eat healthy for you, just dehydrate them. That's it. Or dehydrate some, make some beef jerky. Make some, dehydrate some ground beef and some, either buy some partially cooked noodles or make your own. Now here's a secret, not a secret. Have you ever made your own noodles? If you buy noodles, we're gonna go down this really super steep hill, so I gotta be careful. I'll talk to you guys after I get down, okay? Because this is gonna be pretty steep. Okay, I'm back again. Okay, so if you buy those noodles that are dry from the store, spaghetti, let's say, or whatever, the instructions will normally be to boil them in hot water, salted water for about 9 minutes, anywhere from 6 to 9 minutes normally. If you make your own, 1 egg to 3.5 ounces of flour. You know, you got to know how to do it. It's just very simple. And then you make your own noodles. When you put them in the boiling water, they'll take probably not even a minute to float up to the top, and they're done. They're ready to go, and they're so much more delicious than those dry noodles. Now, I'm not suggesting that you make noodles and then that you put them in a vacuum seal or whatever, because they have an egg in there, just like egg noodles do. And that's how you make egg noodles. But you can boil them. Like you're gonna eat them, let them dry up. Once they're dry, just air dry. Put them in one of those dehydrated bags. Stuff them in the freezer until you're ready to go. When you go, they'll already cook. And when you open them up and put them in the water, either cold soak or boil them, they're gonna rehydrate so fast. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting back to, when you're on trail, you have to stay in good shape. You gotta eat. Just make sure the quality of the calories are good. You have your berries in there. You have your proteins in there, whether it's vegetarian or carnivorous. And you have some starches. I know I saw that shadow too. There's a bird flying around this and I can't find it, but it's not a shadow. So yeah, you just change the quality and you're gonna eat really well. When you go home, do the same thing. Now I think I'm gonna have a very sad moment here. Last time I came here, we had a lot of water in this pond. Back before 2016, there was no water anywhere in the ranch. Then after the rains of 17, 19, we had a lot of water. I suspect that a lot of this has gone away already. We'll find out. So I've learned a lot of mental things. A lot of people, most people, because of the philosophy of the self-love, of taking care of yourself, will say, yeah, I'm very strong-minded. But you don't find out if you're strong-minded until you reach a breaking point. And most people that are in the military, I was in the Navy, understand what I'm talking about. But for those that have not, you do learn on a long distance hike like that you're going to withstand a lot more than you originally thought you could. And no, being on a strong, I do CrossFit, no, that won't cut it. Being on a long thing like this where your life counts on it. When you learn you can handle a lot more. If you lose your job, you're not going to go crazy and do something stupid. You lose your job, you find another one. Wherever. Or, what the heck, buy yourself a bunch of food, put them in a backpack, go out in the woods and live out there for a week. Crap. The water went way down. Oh man. Jeez, no bueno. So yeah. There are other things that I learned. I don't want to talk about gear. Gear people. I like gear. Let me show you guys something. Something very sad. Okay, this is a middle pond. There's actually still water here. But you see where the water is way down there? Man, one more season, it's going to dry up completely. Before 2020, or should I say before 2021, more than likely, more water was all the way up here. And it went all the way up there. That tree that's there, the bottom of that tree that's up there, all that was full of water. You can kind of see. This is very sad. And it just shows what kind of a drought we are in. We're in a horrific drought. Okay, guys. I know it's been kind of a long video, but I haven't put a lot of videos out. I'm not gonna talk about gear so much. I think a lot of people, they love talking about gear. I'm taking this, and woohoo, this is the best thing in the world. And then later on, they're like, oh, I found a new best thing in the world. Olive, look at that. There's no water over there. None at all. That over there used to be filled with water. Maybe you can see that right there. Well, it has a little bit of water. That is going to go away completely. Look at that house. Little that is. Oh, man. The whole thing all the way to those trees over there was filled with water. Now you just got the small little... That is sad. That is sad. Super sad. But we had a drought from 2013 to 2016. And everything was dry. It was years and years of drought. There's one thing about... You know what? I'm sorry, Californians. I'm a Californian. A lot of people say we pay for the weather. Yeah, we do. We pay for the weather. That is so sad to see. You know, I think a lot of people here in some of the states like California that have a relatively mild weather, extreme heat for about 2 months of the year, and after that everything's pretty cool. Nice. We rely a lot on our comforts. In other words, go home, go to your bedroom, whatever, take a shower, go to your bedroom, watch TV, eat some snacks, go to sleep, go outside, walk a little bit, nice weather. But what we don't look at a lot of times, you know, I mean, really, if we, Southern Californians, did not have Northern Californians to take care of us, as far as water goes, we'd be screwed. Sadly screwed. I don't know, I went over to Indiana with our sister-in-law, olive oil sister, Lorna. They have a well. 3 acres of land have a well. They don't pay a dime for water. Beautiful over there. Anyway, guys, I think I made it a video already. We've hiked about almost a mile and a half. Not a mile and a half yet, maybe a mile and a quarter. And I just decided to put a video out. I subscribe to some channels and they have like 30,000 subscribers and all that. You know what? I didn't start this video channel to follow the algorithms of YouTube. What are the algorithms of YouTube? They are like the video, they are subscribe to my channel, they are ring the bell, and leave a comment.
Yes.
If you do all those things, it's going to get the algorithms where YouTube will put the videos out there, and then people monetize them. You know, and they ask you to do that because some people actually live off of that. I'm a nurse. I don't need to monetize it. Would I like it? Yeah, of course. You know, especially when you share your experience, like the Pacific Crest Trail. When you share that, you want everybody to see it. I'll give you an example. When I was in the Navy, we were doing some work, some maneuvers, and I'm not going to say where, simply because I don't want to make somebody sound like they're the bad guys, or they're not. But, well, maybe. But we stayed in, went to a place called Diego Garcia. It's in Atoll in the middle of, it's just east of Mauritius by a few hundred or maybe 1,000 miles, I don't know. If you were to get India and Mauritius and you do a cross, you know, y equals mx plus v type of thing, you'll find Diego Garcia in that area. And we were there with a friend of mine, and it is so beautiful. It has a lake in the middle where the ship's going to, and then has the little pools of the salt water, ocean water, that'll go into these little pools. And then it's just so green. There was this one guy climbed up a tree and cut down this We cut down this coconut. We opened it up and drank the coconut water. And I remember a comment that this guy said. He said, I wish my family could experience this. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. But they couldn't. No matter how much I told them about it, they would not understand. And I think one of the things about YouTube, and I'm saying YouTube, although it could be your video shared on whatever platform. But I'm saying YouTube because this, I find it easier to put it on YouTube, and then from there I can upload it into Facebook or share it with my friends on Messenger without having to wait until the thing decides to upload or can't. It's too much space or whatever. It's just easier to put it on YouTube and share the link. And my intention was never to go for subscribers and make money monetizing. It was never that. I was sharing my experience with people. And I'll tell you, I don't have the names right now with me. But when I got off trail, even during the trail, some of the things that were very uplifting were the comments that people left. They were like, continue on, continue hiking. I like when you posted this, I like when you posted that. And there was this one comment on my very last PCT hike. She said, something like, I felt like one of the raindrops fell on my cheek as I was watching this video. Because she was so saddened that my journey came to an end on the Pacific Crest Trail, which many times I battle with that. And I say, how come you didn't just make it to Kearsarge, or why didn't you go to Forester and get off Bishop Pass or something like that? If I didn't have enough food, or do something like that. But the comments, especially the good comments, I think I only had experienced one bad comment, or negative comment, but those are going to happen. I really don't care about them. Anyway, talked a lot, sharing some of the things. The Pacific Crest Trail. Long live hikers. Long live hiker trash.
Long live hiker trash.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
See his hat?
Bye.
Well, names of family, and some of them were not family.
Subscribe
But
and comment. Ring the bell.
long live hiker trash. Long live hiker trash.
Long live hiker trash.
Bye, guys.
I love the PCT people.
You love the PCT people?
Yeah.
Which ones? I know you didn't hike the PCT, but you did sections of it. What people do you remember? Just think right now. Who are you thinking? Who would say hi to? They're not gonna watch the video because they don't know it. But anyway, who do you want to say hi to? Who do you remember? Name. Come on. Tell me your stories. Come on.
I love the hikers, the one that we did the trail magic.
Oh yeah. Which one are the names? Come on. I know which ones you're thinking about, but I'd rather you say the names.
I forgot them.
You forgot Rapunzel?
Rapunzel.
You
Hi
forgot?
Rapunzel, I still have your phone number to be. And also the Kali.
Who?
Kali?
Polly? Yep.
Is it Kali?
Callie.
Yeah, Kali.
Yeah, Callie.
Uh-huh.
And then Junior Ranger.
Uh-huh.
And then Mama.
Mama and the son.
And the son, I forgot his name.
And the guy, who's that?
Oh, Sam.
Sam.
He actually had a trail name later on. Because that's Sam, he didn't have one. Okay. Sorry, guys. Here's another story. This comes... Okay. This is true. Story. I find it inspiring. When we were doing trail magic over at Scissors Crossing, there was a guy, amputee, his name's Sam. I know he got a trail name later, but during this time he didn't have a trail name. And so he was an amputee and he had a prosthetic. Well, at work where I was working at, we had a guy who was a hiker. I didn't know him as a hiker. He fell down. He was also diabetic. He fell down, broke his leg. Leg got infected. He couldn't heal. So he got a lower, below the knee amputation, and he had a prosthetic. And I used to do wound care on him because it wouldn't heal, and finally it healed. Then eventually he put his prosthetic on. And he was kind of down. Anyway, he would occasionally get up there and then walk a little loop around the inside of the nursing home. And okay, let's go over there and sit down a little bit, and then we'll eat some peanuts, and then we'll go back. Okay, so, you know, I used to kind of tell him, hey, have you fallen into a vortex? And he's like, yeah, I kind of did. You know, he says, I don't know if I should leave this place. Because, you know, he had his own bed there. He had breakfast taken to his room, lunch taken to his room, dinner taken to his room. He had his television. Go to the lobby, talk to other people. He just got so used to it. And I said, are you sure you want to end up staying here for the rest of your life? And he's like, no, but it's hard to leave. And so I interviewed Sam over at Cedars Crossing. And then I showed my patient that video. I know, I don't want to go in there. And when I showed him that video, I showed him how Sam was talking, but he had made it 77.3 miles as an amputee with a prosthetic. The eyes just lit up on the face of my patient. And he started doing like 5 laps, 10 laps. One time he did pretty close to 100 laps. He was getting better. Eventually he left. He thanked me. He said to say thanks to Sam for that video and encouragement. And so he left the facility. I never heard of him. Hi, beautiful dog you got there. Beautiful dog you have there. Is that a Malinois?
Close. It's like a Dutch Shepherd.
Dutch Shepherd? Yeah, the color's a little different than a Belgian Malinois, but it looks a lot like him.
He's exactly the same personality, temper, everything.
Wow.
He's just brindle.
Oh, fantastic.
Is this a Malinois? No, it's called a Dutch Shepherd, but they're literally the exact same dog.
Well, if they're Dutch and Belgium, they're right next to each other. Pretty close.
Police dogs, military.
Yeah. They're wonderful dogs.
A lot of fun. Yeah,
I was gonna get one, but I was told that they need a lot of exercise, they need a lot of time, and I just don't have the time to do that right now.
You gotta be able to get them out like this all the time.
Good.
I mean,
beautiful dog.
Yeah,
Man.
Yeah, I got him pretty well trained. Like while I'm busy working, comes with me pretty much everywhere I go. But
yeah. What do you do if you don't mind me asking?
Grading, paving, do a lot of paving.
So he goes with you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Good job.
He just hangs around.
Very good. Thank you. And anyway, yeah. So, let me show you guys where we're at. This is Daly Ranch. We're gonna turn around. This is the center of Daly Ranch where the Daly family used to live. There's a ranch house right there. It's open house right now, but I've been there and there before, and I don't want to go in there. Just want to rest. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Long live Hiker Trash. Hey. What? Long live Hiker Trash. You're not gonna say it.
Because I say it twice already.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. She's not like me. Anyway, an idea for you guys. Write the name down. Let the people sign their name. Some of them are going away already. But you can only do it when the hat's dry, because you don't want to do them when it's sweaty. It won't work very well, and you don't want them getting your hand on your sweat. Bye, guys.